CPD stands for Continuing Professional Development. It's the process of learning and developing your knowledge and skills whilst you work. Completing CPD is a display of commitment to your role and the wider profession. Members are awarded a certificate on completion of each CPD year. This certificate, alongside your personal CPD record, is tangible evidence of a dedication to ongoing professionalism. From the 1st of April 2017, we will be implementing mandatory CPD for all members, excluding student members. All members who have joined the CISI before or on the 31st of March 2017 will need to ensure that they meet the new mandatory CPD requirements by successfully completing 1 year of CPD by the 31st of March 2019 and continuing to do so on an annual basis to maintain their membership. If you join the CISI on or after the 1st of April 2017, you are required to meet the CPD requirements within your first year of membership. When you first start using the CPD scheme, you will need to register and select a start date when you would like your CPD log to start. This can be set to today or backdated by up to 11 months. Please note that each year thereafter a new CPD year will be set up automatically, so you will only need to do this once. Sign in to the CISI by entering your registered email and password. Click the My CPD button on the left-hand side of the toolbar. This will open the page which will prompt you to select your CPD start date as you are using the CISI CPD scheme for the first time. Click on the Start Date field and select your CPD start date. Please note, you can only backdate your log up to 11 months. Should you wish to set CPD reminders, please select from the drop-down menu and select either Off, Yearly, Quarterly or Monthly. If your firm has a super user account, there is also the option to allow access so that your firm can view and monitor your CPD records. To do so, simply tick the box next to Allow CPD super user access. Once you are happy with your selected start date, please view the Code of Conduct. Read it thoroughly and tick the Agree to Code of Conduct box. Doing so means you agree to uphold the Code of Conduct at all times. To start your CPD year, please click on Create and your CPD log will be created. Adding a CPD entry. Activities undertaken through the CISI will be auto-logged within your CPD record. Activities undertaken through external CPD providers will need to be entered manually. Click the Current Year Log Entries button on the left-hand side of the toolbar. The CPD Year Summary screen will appear. Click on the Add New CPD Entry button. The Add New CPD Entry window will open. You have the option to mark whether the activity being logged fulfills the Ethics CPD requirement by ticking the This CPD is Ethics tick box. Click in the Title field and enter a heading for the activity. This will appear in the CPD Year Entries list. This is a mandatory field. Click in the Learning Objectives field and enter some text describing what the activity relates to. This is a mandatory field. Next, click in the Learning Outcome field and describe what you learned by undertaking the activity. Please note, this field does not need to be completed for planned activities, but must be filled out upon completion of the activity for it to be valid. This is a mandatory field. Now click on the Start Date field and use the calendar to navigate to the date when the activity began. Click this date when found. Once you select a start date, the same date will automatically appear in the End Date field. So, if the activity took place over a couple of days, you will need to change the end date. To change the end date, you will need to click on the calendar. Next, select the learning type for the activity in the Select an Option field. This is done by clicking on the arrow to the right of the field and then choosing the relevant item from the drop-down list that appears. This is a mandatory field. Next, select the category for the activity in the Select an Option field. This is done by clicking on the arrow to the right of the field and then choosing the relevant item from the drop-down list that appears. This is a mandatory field. Next, select the provider of the activity in the Select an Option field. This is done by clicking on the arrow to the right of the field and then choosing the relevant item from the drop-down list that appears. This is a mandatory field. Click on the question mark to open the CISI Guide to Learning Objectives and Outcomes for further guidance on what to include in a learning outcome. If relevant, enter a score in the Score field. For example, this includes activities where a numerical result or test result is given. If relevant, enter a grade in the Grade field. For example, for activities where a graded result, i.e. a pass or fail, is given. Next, in the Hours field, enter the total CPD hours being claimed as a decimal. For example, 1 hour and 15 minutes will equal 1.25. This is a mandatory field. You can also tick the Can Audit Entry tick box if you are happy for this entry to be audited should your record be randomly selected for audit. Members are encouraged to upload evidence to their CPD activities. Please note that if you add or remove files, these will be uploaded or deleted upon saving the entry. Once all the required fields, mandatory and optional, have been completed, click the Save button at the foot of the window to finalise the entry details. Alternatively, click the Save and Close button to finalise the entry details and close the window. Please note, it is possible to abandon the process at any point by clicking the Close button. If any changes have been made or information entered, a pop-up will ask if you wish to continue without saving. The entry will now appear on the current CPD log shown on your My CPD page. Once the entry has been saved, this will appear in the CPD Year Entries list.